Greetings, all of you runners of nets. Welcome to another episode of PeachHack. My name is Ben, and we are at the Ravens Nest Store Championships on January 4th, 2015. We are in round 4, and this is the first game between these two players. On the left, we've got Gabe. He is corping as Jinteki Replicating Perfection, who has the ability where the runner has to make a run on a central server before they can make a run on a remote. And the runner who will be experiencing that is Michael on the right, who is running as Kate McCaffrey. The first program or piece of hardware she installs is lowered by 1 each turn. Legal sets in this tournament up through the source. No Order in Chaos yet, but that's coming up soon. I've seen Michael's rig before. He has a really interesting stealth rig that I've seen be extremely effective in the fest. And he's going to need it to get in through Replicating Perfection, well known for their taxing abilities. But we're getting into the game here. Gabe taking that mandatory draw. Now, the thing about a stealth rig is that it usually takes some time to kind of get it set up. That's the one downside to it. And Michael throwing down Professional Contacts is going to be his moneymaker draw machine. So, like I said, it takes some time, so you're going to be drawing a lot. Might as well make some money while you do it. There's a lot of pieces to the stealth puzzle. Got to get your cloaks and your refractor and your dagger. There's a cloak coming out. It sells it for free because it's Kate. And those are going to be powering his runs in the future. Now, the good thing about the thing that's okay about him running a slow rig is that Replicating Perfection itself is sort of a slow corp. So, Replicating Perfection is going to take their time, get some nice secure essentials set up to be nice and taxing, probably get their economy assets going. And Michael is going to be sitting, building up all his breakers, all his stealth credits. And sooner or later, he'll be able to make some pretty efficient runs where he doesn't even have to spend much money, just a bunch of recurring credits. There's a couple recurring credits already. We got the cloak and the cyber feeder. But for Gabe, we have a Jackson on the field. Maybe trying to figure out, find where his important pieces are. He wants to get those econ assets, ice up those centrals. He's already made a nice empty server here. We got a celebrity gift, though. We have a Future Perfect, Wall of Thorns, Nisei Mark II, a 2 interns. So already a couple agendas there in hand. 1 piece of ice. If he installs a piece of ice here, then we know what that is. But actually, I think this was clicks 2 and 3, maybe. So hold on. Was that's got to be one of those 2 agendas? So that's either Future Perfect or the Nisei, right? Because there is 2 agendas, 2 interns, and a piece of ice. So that's got to be one of the agendas. Michael drops his self-modifying code. He get whatever breaker he wants for 2 credits. 3. So on click 3, he runs archives. Click 4, he's going to check this remote. It has an agenda in it. Mathematically, it must be so. It is a toll booth. That is expensive to get through. Well, hold on. If he has a refractor, so the toll booth used his Kate credit. So the refractor, I think, cost 3. Well, okay. So he paid 3 for encountering troll here, or not troll, but toll booth. So he has time here. He's not going to pop the SMC because he knows that agenda cannot be scored right now. So he's got a turn basically.
You know the agenda they had in hand.
So if he can build up enough economy to get a refractor, then he can get in.
Gabriel.
With only 2 credits, though, it might be kind of tough. Gabe ices up archives, no more free central runs. Is he going to advance that agenda? Nope, not advancing yet. So, okay, Michael pops SMC at the end of Gabe's turn, so he'll get an extra install. Okay, refractor's only 1, so he gets that for free. Well, he pays 2 for SMC. He gets the refractor for free. So actually all he needs to do here is get $3 so he can pay the toll booth toll, and then he'll boost with the cloak and break with the cyber feeder, and then he gets that agenda. Nice. Very nice. I like the popping of the SMC on Gabe's turn. That was a good move to get that cake credit. Very smart. And of course, he doesn't even have to take 3. He just uses professional contacts. And he can actually wait a turn because he hasn't advanced it yet. So Gabe is going to need to ice up the server. Maybe Gabe doesn't realize how much strength Refractor can boost. It only takes 1. Okay, he advances it once, gets a Sundew. It only takes 1 stealth credit to boost Refractor up to 5. Its base strength 2, a stealth boost gives it strength 5. So he can use the cloak and the cyber feeder to get through that toll booth. And now he has to, because it's been advanced once, meaning he can score it next turn. So that means that's the Nisei down there. There's no way that Gabe would just advance that once if it was the Future Perfect. I don't think Gabe quite realizes how much danger he's in. And Michael taking those 4 credits or he runs professional contacts, grabs Katie. That's true. He does have to get into a central. We got a Yagura there. And now that's porous. So, I mean, yeah, he's going to take a net damage here. Or he could break it with Refractor. So he can spend 1. Okay, he's going to spend 1 to break the net damage. He lets the R&D trigger fire. And then he's going to spend 3 on the toll booth. And he's going to be able to get in. And there's just the wall of thorns down there. Running the remote with the agenda. Boosts with cloak. Breaks with cyber feeder.
Oh, how much is it, though?
And yeah, Gabe. I don't think Gabe realized how much he could pump with a stealth credit. And there you go. Takes the Nisei. 2 points. Swish. That is stealth for you. Looks like he discarded an Astrolabe. He probably has another in hand if that's the case. Either that or he's not worried about MU usage or just had more important cards in hand for now. Leaves the Sundew up. That's going to be getting Gabe some money. Sundew, usually one of the most important econ assets that Replicating Perfection has gotten. They get 2 tokens or 2 credits at the beginning of their turn if the runner doesn't make a run on it. And, of course, they can't make a run on it if you're Replicating Perfection. At least for your first click, that is. Michael building up his rig some more. Got a lockpick to boost the Refractor and a Fairy. And Gabe making some remotes. No Astrolabe for Michael. No free draws. Gabe getting up there in money. Well, I mean, 11 credits is... You feel somewhat comfortable with that amount of money. You could probably res whatever ice those are over the centrals. That's really kind of all you need to worry about in terms of money at this point. Over R&D, we have a run. Komainu and Michael pops the Fairy to pass that. Fairy, a nice little protection against all those dangerous sentries. And then runs the Sundew, trashes it. I think it's a good idea. Gabe then resing a pad campaign, which is not as good as Sundew, but still works. It's more expensive to trash. Drawing up with Jackson. Not quite seeing what he wants to see yet, but at least he's getting some economy. All these remotes. No astrolabe. Makes me sad to see that in the trash, but
That's
it
why I
happens.
wasn't sure about being here. I knew I was gonna run out of space.
This is looking like a very horizontal replicating perfection. You usually don't see things get this horizontal. You might see a couple of servers for your recurring credits, and then like one big scoring server. I wonder if these are all economy assets. We've got the one pad campaign. Mental health clinic is another good one, because that gives you one per turn, and it's free to res. Got a dagger now coming out for Michael. And yeah, there is a mental health clinic and another pad campaign. 3 credits per turn. But with that dagger now, Michael is able to get through that Kamainu, though it is kind of expensive. Of course, he is in control of how expensive that is, given his hand size.
This is only the pump has to be stealth, right?
Now, I imagine Gabe is going to want to protect this scoring server with the toll booth. Indeed. The reason I'd say that he was checking to make sure he knew what the strength of Refractor was with the stealth boost. So he realizes that's not a terribly safe server. He basically can get in for 3 real credits and ices up HQ a bit more. Nope, R&D. Never mind. And passes the turn. Gabe pointing out that he has graciously resed that mental health clinic, giving Michael a larger hand size. I'm sure he's very thankful for that. Maybe not. R&D interface. Good timing on that ice install. It's going to be a lot more pressure on R&D. Instead is forced to draw. I'm sure we'll see some R&D runs coming anyway. Eventually that rig will be up. Gabe seems to be having a bit of trouble figuring out what he wants to do. Takes 3 credits. Those draws are not coming for him right now. Sometimes that's what happens. You take your draw, stay in your hand for a bit. Take 3 credits and discard. Michael boosting his stealth rig even more. I believe he's at max MU now. 4 programs installed, no mem chips or that astrolabe. Rest in peace. Runs R&D, and there's an architect. Now he does have 2 stealth credits. So he can pump dagger and break with, okay, Cyber Theater and a real credit. How many cards does he have in hand, though, for the Kamainu? He might jack out if he feels like it's too expensive. No, I think he's going for it. Another pump. So he has 3 in hand, so 3 to break. So he's 2 cards. Ooh, a Utopia Fragment. Score that. 5 points on the board for Michael. And Gabe, a little concerned that this is not going as he was hoping. He needs to be scoring out agendas. If only he could draw them. Makes a new remote there. That's not an upgrade or ice or anything. That's a new remote. He's running out of space. Interns is back. That Sundew. Always feels good. You trashed it? Nope, it's back. Now, there is that unresed something or other in that server, that scoring server that he tried to score the Nisei out of. I wonder what that is. If that's a trap or a bait, or it could be a Nisei, which is pretty common in your scoring server. Astrolabe, there you are. There's another one. You came eventually. Maybe a little late, but at least you're here, right? So what do you do now if you're Michael? Where are the agendas? Probably not in hand, given the way that Gabe is drawing. We have another pad campaign. And Gabe has quite an econ engine going here. 4 credits at the beginning of his turn, and 2 credits on Michael's turn. And a subliminal messaging, which is even more. Gabe's got money. If only he could do something about it. Sometimes that happens. Okay, so he ices up R&D a bit more, throwing a signal that that's where the agendas are, not in hand, and protecting that scoring server even more. But yeah, sometimes when you're either the corp or the runner, you can have all the money in the world, but that doesn't necessarily help you if you don't have the right cards to use that money on. And Michael completes his breaker rig. He's got a decoder, a killer, and a barrier breaker, a fractor, and runs R&D, and he sees a snowflake. That is a fairly uncommon barrier. Takes 2 to break with Corroder. Interesting to see Snowflake. Usually don't see Snowflake outside of Nisei Division because of the side game. Able to use a few credits to break in. Sees Caprice Nisei, trashes that for 1. Get that out of here. And just another piece of ice. Bumping up Katie. Katie's a great. Sometimes as the runner, you're sitting there and you've got just extra credits, or extra clicks, and you don't want to draw because you're full on cards, and you don't want to run because you don't have enough money. So having a place to spend just a spare click is nice to boost Katie. And there's the interns. Caprice going on that scoring server. Welp, it happens. Good old interns. I have to imagine that that card that's been in that server is not an agenda. I wonder what it is, though. If it's not an economy asset and not an agenda, I wonder what he could be running besides those. I guess there's Jackson. Maybe it could be an unres Jackson. And he just pulled an extra one and wanted to put it somewhere because he didn't want to toss it. Or it could be an Ash. Ash, also another popular include in these taxing replicating perfection decks. Net Celebrity coming out from Michael. It's interesting that he decided to play that now. It is a nice extra recurring credit, but Replicating Perfection loves their encryption encrypted. Not encryption protocol. Enhanced login protocol. Jeez, my mind. Running R&D, and Gabe decides to pop Jackson to thin out the stack because the R&D's got to be chock full of agendas at this point. That seems to be where they all are. But yeah, like I was saying, Michael decides to hold the Net Celebrity for not waiting for the enhanced login protocol, which you almost expect in every Replicating Perfection deck. It's an extremely taxing card that forces runners to spend 2 clicks. There's a Sundew, and another Sundew. 2 Sundews coming up for Gabe because obviously he needs more credits for 0 clicks. But yeah, incredible taxing card, enhanced login protocol. Very common in this deck. But Michael decides to keep his extra recurring credit. He needs it. He seems very reluctant to spend real credits on his runs. He wants to use as many recurring credits as possible, which makes sense. Oop, we got to install on that remote. So there was an agenda somewhere in there. Installs and advances, gets another Sundew. Now he's getting 4 credits on Michael's turn and 4 credits on his own turn. Up to 20 credits at this point. Decides to trade out for some 5s. Much appreciated. Make it easier to read. Saves room. More memory coming out for Michael. So what is he going to install that needs more memory? Probably another cloak would be good. He always use more recurring credits. Yeah, making sure that Michael drew for making the new server for Astrolabe, which he did. And I do see a cloak in hand for Michael, so that's why he wanted that extra memory. Draws up, gets more money, and apparently some pretty bad draws. A Net Shield and a Flaskrete, which you're not really going to need against Replicating Perfection. Scorch is not something you typically see, though if you want to do a super meta deck with Replicating Perfection, include some Scorch in there somehow, that'd be fun. They'll toss their plasticreets. They'll never see it coming. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, scores out that agenda. And it is an Issei Mark II. That will let Gabe end a run at some point. Very valuable to have that out as replicating perfection. As you are doing all of the click taxing that you can. Force them to run several times. We do see that cloak coming out now for Michael. Lots of recurring credits. So now we just need to see some runs. He can break in anywhere for pretty cheap. Oop, Ghost Runner, more stealth credits. Hits R&D, gonna see 2 cards. And using all those recurring credits, so I guess he's not really planning on making another run. Just gonna see these 2. He's gonna pull the game. There's another Caprice. Decides to trash it. And there's an Ash. Which, oh, no, he does have enough to trash. There it is. Oh, Gabe thought it was an NAPD because Michael hesitated. He does have the money to trash it, though, but he goes completely broke. Zero monies, but 6 on Katie. And see, that's another situation there where it's nice. You have the spare click. You don't have money to run. You're full on cards. Put money on Katie. It works. But Gabe slowly clawing himself back into this game. He was able to score an Issei. He's got a counter on it. That's a pretty strong position. Michael's got pretty much a full rig now with all those cards on the table. Nice and orderly. Interns is out a Wall of Thorns. Puts that on R&D. That's where the agendas are. And that's where the pressure is with the R&D interface. Another Sundew. 6 credits coming in for Gabe at the beginning of Michael's turn, and then 4 at the end. This money situation is kind of getting out of hand. You cannot let a replicating perfection player keep those Sundews, because this is what happens. Gabe at 34 credits. I mean, I don't even know what on earth he could possibly do with all this money. He doesn't have any like traces or anything, I don't think. You can play a million side games. Michael, I think, is going to take this turn to sit back and recover from that expensive run where he had to trash on R&D. And running R&D is going to become pretty expensive now. Clicks Katie up some more. First roll contacts. Looks like he's going to hit HQ. Not a bad idea. Hits another Snowflake. It's only 2 to get through with Groder. So he decides not to break, play the side game. Michael says ahead of time he's not going to spend any money. He's just not interested. He just wanted to see what that ice was. Maybe get a nice, easy, free access. But he's decided to save that money. Doesn't want to spend it anywhere important. Or anywhere he doesn't have to spend it. So, oh, that was an agenda on top. Installs advances twice, probably a future perfect. Can Michael get in? Gabe can res all of the ice. So remember that to get into a remote, it just has to be an unsuccessful. It can be an unsuccessful run. He can hit HQ, bid 0 on Snowflake, and maybe he accesses, maybe he doesn't, and then he hits that remote. Having said that, there's probably an Ash and a Caprice on that remote, and he's got the Nisei tokens, so it's going to be really hard. Instead, he chooses to pressure R&D some more. We're going to see 3 cards. That Wall of Florence comes up. I wonder if Michael has mathed this right. So Wall of Thorns is strength 5, so it's going to be 5 to break with Corroder, I believe. 3 to pump, 2 to break. He's got 8 credits and 4 recurring credits. Scoring the Nisei took away the net celebrity. Then there's the Snowflake, which you can break for 2 with Corroder. And, I think he's saying that he forgot about the Kamainu and he's got too many cards at hand. It's going to be more expensive than he thought. Presumably there's an NAPD. I mean, Gabe said he thought that Michael had hit an NAPD before, so there are NAPDs in the deck. So when Michael accesses, he has to make sure he has at least 4 credits, or else he won't be able to steal an NEPD. And it looks like he broke through Wall of Thorns with all the recurring credits and jacked out because he forgot about he missed math. So he just decided to break through and jack out and recover a bit. And there's the score. There's the future perfect. 5-5 now. Gabe is pulling back. And he's got the Nisei token. This is actually, this game has definitely swung in Gabe's favor. What will Michael do? Now, right now, it might not be a bad idea to run that scoring remote. See if you can get in there and trash stuff. Of course, then that would make him broke, probably. Trying to run there a bunch of times. You got those recurring credits that'll get you into a server pretty cheaply. You can face check the snowball or snowflake and then hit that scoring server. Try to see if you can get rid of a caprice or an ash or something like that. Instead, he's got a lot of money now from Katie, and looks like he's hitting R&D again. And this time he has the money. Gonna see 3 cards. Also, not a bad target. All he needs is a 2-pointer. That's all he needs. He is through the Wall of Thorns. He is through the Snowflake. And he's through... Oh, he decided to trash his hand to the Kamainu. Oh, no. So he popped the clone chip. That's what it was. Popped the clone chip on the ferry. And yeah, Gabe uses his Nisei token. He's not going to let a 3 dig run happen. Now, he did burn the token, so that's gone. Yeah, I mean, that was the right play to stop that, because that could have been the game right there, and Gabe just can't risk a 3-point dig. Or a 3-card dig. I wonder... It's hard to see if any of those were agendas. And it looks like Gabe put a Caprice on R&D. Actually, you know, if he could force a Caprice res on R&D, then Gabe would not be allowed to res the Caprice on... Well, okay, so he could res the Caprice on the remote. It would just trash the Caprice on the R&D, because Caprice is a unique. And he drops an HQ interface. HQ is wide open. Seeing 2 cards. It's a celebrity gift. And Eli. Gabe, I don't think, is interested in the slightest in showing his hand. Running back again. The celebrity gift again. And I think that is a swordsman? As in a piece of ice. It might have been a swordsman. Or a neural katana. Sometimes I have a hard time recognizing the uncommon ice. Yeah, Gabe does not want to show his hand at all. That is not information he wants to give away, and he has absolutely no need for money. 53 credits. Look at all those 5 tokens. Like when you buy a new core set of Netrunner, like it comes with like a limited number of. I think that's like all of the 5s that would come with a new core set of Android Netrunner. Maybe a couple or more. Like, you have to buy 2 copies of Android Netrunner just to have this many credits on the table for one person. That might be a little bit of hyperbole. But it's crazy. 50. When was the last time you saw that many credits in the game? 10 credits for 0 clicks every turn. Oh no, he has to pay 4 to install that ice. What a tempo hit. Another Cyber Fear? Will that help, though? He can try to make that R&D dig. There is the Caprice, though, at the root, and I think Michael knows that. Hits HQ some more. Hopes to see something. I don't think there are any... doesn't want to trash the mental health clinic. I don't think that's going to do anything. I think as soon as Gabriel picks an agenda from somewhere, it's going straight in that scoring server. I don't think HQ is going to be where he keeps things. Jackson, he's going to be digging. That deck is starting to look thin. Oh, there's the agenda, though. Install and advance. The game is afoot, which is kind of gross. So, what is Michael going to do about this? He could try to make the R&D run and force a Caprice res. But still, I mean, he'll be able to res. I mean, I don't know. So he has to make... Did he already spend... I can't tell if he already spent one credit or one click because the one thing there is flipped over. So best case scenario, he can run HQ. So he decides to break in HQ. So he does just have... He has used a click already. Then he can run the scoring server. He'll have to win a side game. Then he accesses probably an Ash. Ooh, it's a Lotus Field. Oh, this is the first time he's used lockpick in like the whole game. So he has to get through here, win a side game, access an Ash. The Ash trace is going to fire. Look at all this money. Then trash Ash, come back, win another side game, and then he'll be able to access. I don't even know if he has the money to run in there twice at all. Another Wall of Thorns. I think these Walls of Thorns, I mean, it's 5. Let's see. Okay, he's got 11 credits. So to get in here twice, Lotus Field, I think he only has 1 stealth credit left. He needs 2 stealth credits to get through Lotus Field and Toll Booth for each run. He's used lockpick. He has all those cloaks. So he has to have enough to trash Ash, which is 3. He has to have enough to play 2 side games. And that could be an NAPD. He has to end with 4 also. He's going to eat some damage from Wall of Thorns. And there's the Toll. And he does have to, yes, res the Caprice before Toll Booth is broken. So they will play the game. He gets through. Here comes the game.
So we do the before I res the Ash. Yep.
And he decides to res the Ash. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have to res the Ash here because Caprice happens before the run is considered successful, before they're accessing. So he has time to wait to res the Ash, but, you know, whatever. He has $1 billion, and everyone knows it's an Ash anyway. How much does Michael bid? He does not have very much money. I don't know if he can actually get back in. And it looks like he bid 2 with 2 Gabe's 1. So that's a failure. He will not get in. He has 1 click left. He could try to run R&D, but I don't. There's no way he's getting in there with 1 credit. I think probably his only hope is that there's something in HQ. I don't really see any other option. He could trash a Sundew with his 1 credit and a Ghost Runner credit. Because. And yeah, Gabe pointing out that there's also the Caprice there. So, I mean, even if he had a lot of money, I don't think he can make it into R&D. That Caprice over R&D is brutal. Caprice anywhere is brutal. So, sounds like he's going for his only hope, hoping that there's something in HQ. He did draw up a lot with Jackson. He's going to see 2 cards. Sees a Sarugi and an Eli. And I think that's going to be it. That was his last click. Mandatory draw. Oh, there was an NEPD on top of R&D. Not that he would have been able to steal, but advance 3 times. Scoring Issei. And Gabe coming back from a 5-0 deficit to win this game. That is replicating perfection for you. Gabe takes it 7-0 against Michael's stealth rig. And that money situation just getting out of control. But yeah, replicating perfection. It's a good deck. Anyway, We're going to be going on to round 2 in a bit. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'll have that up soon. I'll probably post a link to it when that is up. Right here, you'll probably already see the link to it on the screen. And, yeah, coming up with game 2 of round 4 from Raven's Nest in a bit. Thanks for watching.